Yeah, so this morning, shortly after 3 a.m., Chula Vista Police Department got a radio call into the dispatch center involving possible gunshots here in 2700 block of Apricot. So our officers came out here. They got here about 7 minutes later after the call came in. Came in as a check the welfare. They found the garage door of this residence here to my left open. They eventually made entry. They talked to some neighbors who heard gunshots, who reported hearing gunshots. They made entry and unfortunately ended up finding two deceased victims who appear to have been shot. Obviously, the investigation is still very preliminary. Detectives are still trickling into the scene, so we're basically going to be looking to see if we can identify who, what, why, and go from there.
We were hearing that it was possibly a mother and daughter, or a mother and aunt. Do you know the relationship?
I don't know any information about the relationship between the victims and the suspect at this point. Would be pure preliminary. So to my knowledge, they've not been identified as of yet.
What suspect information can you give us at this point?
I'm sorry?
What suspect information can you give us?
I don't have a suspect at this point, so we have people of interest, but obviously that's part of the investigation, and so anything we give you would be purely preliminary.
Is it two females inside of the house?
At least it appears to be two females, correct.
Did any of the neighbors who heard the gunshots call and report it?
I don't have information on who called and reported it or how many of the neighbors called in. I know that some neighbors did report some gunshots, but as far as how many and who, I don't know.
Where were the females found? Did it seem like they were surprised and maybe in bed asleep, or?
They're in the upstairs bedrooms. This is a 3-story condominium or townhouse. Both of them are upstairs. They appear to be in individual bedrooms. So 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 victim in each bedroom.
Can you say multiple gunshot wounds?
At this point, I can't tell you how many times they've been shot.
Was there anyone else inside of the home?
Nobody else was inside the home.
Were there any weapons found inside the home?
At this point, we haven't searched yet. We're going to freeze the scene. Our laboratory will come out. We're going to take this very slowly, very thoroughly, examine every item of evidence, and go from there.
Not sure if you've said this already. Do they live here?
I don't know.
Sure not. Okay. We've been hurrying to a countywide search for this suspect. San Diego police also in this. You can't comment on that?
Well, I know that we're looking for somebody, the person of interest. We don't know at this point whether they're a suspect or not, so we're basically covering all our bases to try to determine what happened and who did it and find them. So anything I would give would be preliminary, and I don't want to identify somebody, obviously, that's not involved, so we're just doing what we can to find the suspect or suspects.
Age on the victims?
I don't know. I would tell you they're both adult. I don't have ages at this point.
For the neighbors that are living in this area that are going to be waking up, especially the ones that are in the immediate crime scene area, is this something that's going to affect them as they try to leave their homes?
Yeah, this is a very tight, obviously the crime scene here, we've got it taped off, our vehicles, and so we've had some try to leave already, so we'll work with them. It's certainly going to impact their ability to get in and out of their vehicles or their garages, but that should be the extent of it.
Should they be concerned? There might be a gunman on the loose here.
I will tell you, this is certainly concerning. Anytime we have a homicide, it's definitely concerning. At this point, we don't have any information that there's a gunman on the loose targeting strangers, so to speak. Obviously, if that was the case, we would definitely let people know and alert the public. But at this point, everything's too preliminary to be able to do that.
And I assume you did not find a weapon inside?
I did not search, so I did not see one in evidence, and we haven't searched yet, so it's too preliminary, it's too soon.
How long do you guys expect to be out here for?
There's no telling. We'll be out here predominantly most of the day, I'm sure.
Still waiting on the ME?
The medical examiner has not arrived yet, to my knowledge, and so most of our detectives are still working up, tools for the investigation back at the station. They'll be here shortly, and then from there we'll basically wait for the laboratory and we'll go through our steps. It's very, very methodical, very slow paced, as you can imagine, and so we'll be out here most of the day doing that. So.
I know you said you couldn't comment much on suspect information or anything like that, but is there any way you can tell us if this appears to be domestic or random, if it looked like someone broke in, or if anything like that?
I tell you, there doesn't appear to be any signs of forced entry. Preliminary investigation as to whether it's domestic violence or not. I mean, we have 2 deceased victims. It's hard to tell on glancing how and why, why they were killed or what led up to the homicides. It would be speculation.
Thank you. Okay. Can we take you live right now?
Sure.
Okay, perfect.
You have been listening to Chula Vista Police Department talk about this double murder. There is a suspect out there. This is the townhome that it happened in with that open garage. Somewhere in there, they discovered 2 females dead. The gunman on the loose out there. And if you're wondering where this is right in East Lake area of Chula Vista, right outside the Olympic Training Center, where they have their work cut out for them, not only investigating what happened, but finding the person responsible.
Yeah, and you can hear a police officer explaining that even though there is a gunman on the loose, At this point, they don't have a reason to alert the public about this person being armed and dangerous. It's just south of Olympic Parkway, and you heard neighbors heard gunshots, and also, obviously, this is very early in the investigation. We will stay on top of this for you on 10 News all morning long. As soon as there are any breaking developments, something substantial, we will send that to you through our 10 News app. We did send this alert when police first went to the home this morning. So if you want to get breaking news alerts like this, just use the app. Be sure to turn on notifications, though.